Cześć, witajcie na portalu Immersja. To jest kolejny odcinek naszego studia Immersyjnie na Styk w trakcie festiwalu Nowych Horyzonty 2023. A dzisiaj naszym gościem jest Lisandro Alonso, reżyser filmu Eureka. This is not your first time in Wrocław at Nowe Horyzonty, is it?
No, actually I've been back before, back in time. I think I don't remember which films, even if I know that all the films I made were shown here, which I'm happy about that, because I like the energy of the festival. But I think the first time I've been here was more than, I don't know, 10 years ago, 15. I'm getting old, guys. Yeah.
And now you're back with Eureka, and I would like to ask, where did you shoot the film and with which communities? And how did you came across this topic? And is it true that by Viggo Mortensen?
Yeah, actually, well, the idea it starts like 10 years ago. After I finished my previous film called Jauja, I keep thinking about doing some more scenes with some natives that they show up in the film. And then I started thinking about natives all over America. And then I started thinking about who represent them in films. And I discovered that Western was not enough in order to represent them. But I always would love to do my own Western. So I found an excuse to put a Western in a film and then continue in present time and in order to show how natives lives nowadays. But yes, you are right. I was in Boston on 2017, and I asked Viggo Mortensen if he knows anyone who lives in Pine Ridge Reservation, and he was been there before because he was rehearsing for the film he made called Hidalgo. And he practiced a lot about riding horses there. And so I just went there by car, I knocked some doors, I meet some people, and I started researching how this community lives nowadays inside the reservation. They have some problems, but they are super proud about who they are.
You mentioned the Western, and I think the myth of the Western saying that the Western that founded America is the starting point of your entire film. However, the scene is very different from your entire filmography. So I would like to ask about the realization of this segment, this scene.
Yes, I've been working with Timo Salminen, who is the DOP also with all the films from Aki Kaurismäki. So he has a more classic kind of approach to narrate my scripts, and he helped me a lot. Him and Viggo Mortensen, who had made several Western films. Actually, I was almost an outsider during the shooting of the Western part, even if I'm the director, the script writer. But I used to work with trying to reduce the amount of people, and all of them knows how I work, and I trust them. So I give myself to Timo's way of tell things, especially in a Western film. But it is different. It's more like because Western itself is a genre. It's the whole cinema from the biggest genre from US, I guess. So it has his own way of being told, you know. But I think I really enjoy shooting the Western in the south of Spain, in Almeria, where a lot of Western have been shot by the Italians, mostly, like Sergio Leone. And it was good. It was a great experience.
You referred to the John Ford movies, but I would like to ask about the gunfight in your movie. It is very different from the classical Western, and what was your idea for the gunfight in your movie? Because I think they are they remind more of Irishmen. You know, the shooting and the escaping, not the monumental scenes like in the classical Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, I have no idea. I just try to do it as realistic as I can. But even in the Western films, it's kind of sometimes it's artificial. The way the characters died with that blood. Some are realistic, some not. So I try to be in between like all Western films from the 50s and 60s, and some, you know, no, I think it was just mixed, but even if, because you know that once you saw Viggo Mortensen, it's not from the 50s, you know, so it's strange to see that kind of shooting, fighting. But I think we did it well somehow.
Yes, Eureka to me is some kind of timeless road movie. The direction of population movement is in your film opposite. And you are going back to the times before the Wild West, I would say. And I would like to ask about that, because this is narratively risky and you often work without the script. So how we cope with the construction of the movie with your style?
Well, actually we have a script, and actually I've been thinking about this film for more than 9 years. Mm-hmm. So everything that is in the film was already thinking and processed. And I processed all the information like for a lot of time. So it was my choice to this film has this kind of uncertain kind of solid land for the audience, because I don't know because I just want it that way, even if I know that the film has like uncertain conclusions, you know, for the audience, and I like it to be that way. I mean, I like films like give me a space for me to create and to search about who are these people, why he the director show me this kind of at the beginning entertainment, you know, like but then you realize that what you just see at the beginning, the Western, is entertainment. It doesn't help the people who really is suffering, like and being part of that history that been told through Western films. And then you discover, like nowadays, how the community from Pine Ridge resides and in the place, and the heart that it is for them to still trying to be the people that they used to be 100 years ago without help from the government. So, but there's a lot of things that I know, because I've been searching on them like for a lot of time, but it's obviously that the audience probably don't know. And I like to give the opportunity to the audience to don't try to explain who they are, instead to be the audience who is the active one and go to the computer and search how they live, you know. And I mean, if I'm allowed to do that, you know, just to bring these people, because when I was studying in the school, I have a teacher who told me, I mean, if you have the chance, don't lose your chance to put microphones and camera in places where never have been. And I really like the idea. It's a great excuse for me to travel, to meet people, to discover new ways of approach to problems or to questions that I have no idea how to solve, questions that I even make to myself, but and also to decide where I love or where I like or where I try to put my energy and my life and my time. And I prefer to be in places where you can see through my films.
Yes, and Eureka is also a film whose production struggled with many issues.
Yes. And
could you tell us more about that, about the changes with the cast and the production division, and what was the reason for this, and how you fight these problems?
Well, we just need to. Well, I mean, when the car is, the engine of the car is it's warm, it's better not to stop the car, I guess, and keep driving. So I never stopped driving, even if I have to. I think probably the three worst problems that you can have in production is to change your producer, your DOP, and your main actors. And all of them happened to me, plus being stopped twice by the COVID. And it was a problematic, even if I know it was going to be a risk to shoot this movie, because it involved 4 different countries and places to shoot, but I was decided to finish this. Well, I mean, you have to dance. Once, I mean, even if the music, they play music you don't like, you still have to dance and to solve problems and to improvise a bit. And even if, I mean, for example, in South Dakota, we've been stopped. It was supposed to shoot only for 12 days, but instead we had locked in a casino for 5 days because of the snow and the bad weather conditions, and nobody expect that. I mean, we expect the snow, but and at the same time, the main character is the police woman. We all discovered that she has a preborn baby. I mean, very, very small, get really ill, and she had to quit the shooting. So I need to find inside someone who can continue the film. You know, for example, the one who it was supposed by the script that the one who goes to the grandfather and becomes a bird was a police officer, not Sadie. But sometimes you just approach to these uncertain problems that shootings brings into the production, and you discover that it's for good. I mean, and I'm happy to actually the film is in the way you see it. Sometimes it brings surprises, chance can be your best solutions.
You mentioned the travels, and your movies, the Eureka, remind me little of Werner Herzog cinema, because for both of you, the starting point is not the human face, but the landscape and the nature. And I would like to ask, why is it important to give nature so much space?
Because I think through all the films we made in different places or locations, I think, well, I really admire Herzog. He's one of my best influence in so many different levels and ways. But I think since I'm not a director who works through the words and dialogues and actors, I think sometimes the best way to define your character, the human being who is in your frame, is just showing where he lives and how he survived. And sometimes if you know how to focus frame nature, you will notice that how violent can be the world that surrounds your character, and that maybe your character it feels lonely, incommunicated, isolated, and he's in a continuous battle in order to survive.
Okay. Thank you for coming.
It's a pleasure.
Naszym gościem był Lisandro Alonso. Eureka ma już polskiego dystrybutora, także wyczekujcie polskich premier, bo naprawdę jest na co czekać. Okay, so thank you.
It's a pleasure, man. It's a real pleasure. I hope it was
What's your
good.
favorite Herzog movie?